All right, today on the podcast, we are talking with Emily Heller. You might know her as Run Like Heller. She's a shoe reviewer and a super fun person. So, Emily, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I've been listening on my long runs a little bit here and there, so I'm excited to hopefully help somebody on their 18-miler one day. They can listen to this podcast. I'm excited, yeah.
And you get to see our face meet face to face. So that's good.
Yes. I have seen your face meet face to face before. This sounds so wrong.
That's true.
But, it's nice to see it virtually. And I'll be seeing it tomorrow as well, right? And over the weekend, so.
Yeah, that's so crazy. We see you in real life tomorrow. Very fun.
You're living. Why do I want to think you live in Florida? Because you live in New York, and I'm always like, yeah, you're going to come up north.
Yeah, no, I'm not a Floridian, but I am a Long Islander. So, yeah, I'm going to take the train up tomorrow and meet you guys in the city.
All right. What part of Long Island are we talking about?
A part that nobody would ever know or care about. It's called Comac, and it's like in the center of Long Island.
Everybody's heard of Comac.
Good old Comac. There's so much going on here.
You go there for the denim outlet.
The denim outlet?
Yeah, they got a denim outlet up there. You can get jeans for very cheap.
I don't get it.
It's got a flea market.
Yeah, I'm sure there's one here somewhere, but yeah, there's an Old Navy if you want a denim outlet.
There you go. Now you're talking.
Target, we got all that stuff.
Back to school sales.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a very basic suburb on Long Island, and it's in Suffolk County, so a little further.
How far
east.
is it from Dix Hills and Huntington?
Yeah, wow, Dix Hills and Huntington, like 20 minutes. Who do you know in Dix Hills and
go.
Huntington?
I cannot disclose that information.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very close.
So did you grow up there, or where are you from originally?
Yeah, I grew up here, and I work full-time in the city. Well, I used to. I work from home now, but I always thought like maybe I'd move to the city at some point, but I think I just really like having like grass and a yard, and like I like driving my car around, so I did stay here. I was born and raised on Long Island, so
where did you go to summer camp?
Oh my God, I hated summer camp. It was
Where did you go though?
Experience. I went to three summer camps. Okay, so first I went to one called Hidden Pond, and we had to do like archery. They were throwing us in the pool at like 8 a.m. And if you didn't go in the 8 a.m. pool time, then you couldn't do free swim in the afternoon. And I never did the 8 a.m. pool time, so I had to sit there like the little bad kid that I was and watch everyone have free swim, and I never got to do it. Then I went to another one called Sports Plus, which was equally terrible. And then finally, I went to a basketball camp because I played basketball through like sophomore year of high school. And that was actually fun. We got pizza for lunch. So
every day?
Yeah, every day. But it was only for a week. It was only for a week. Yeah. So like.
See, that's the difference between kids though, is like if I said, hey, pizza for a week, I'd be like, can we switch that up? As a kid, you're like, no, man.
Every meal, probably. Yeah.
That's some nuggies.
Yeah. Well, I think they got it from like some pizzeria in the area, so they could have switched that up, given us some like McDonald's, maybe some chicken nuggets, some fries.
White Castle.
I've never had White Castle ever.
Yeah, but it's in Long Island. They don't have it down here.
There's one 3 minutes. I could walk there right now. It's right there.
And you've never been?
You never want a little slider or something?
I mean, I'm with you. I'm not into fast food, but I feel like you're right there.
Well, I'm a recovering fast food girly. I do love fast food secretly, but I've been kind of trying to cut back a little bit, but I have never had White Castle. I was more of like a McDonald's, Wendy's kind of girl.
But why? Like, is there a reason you're like F White Castle?
Well, yeah. So like, first of all,
Harold
it's
and
in
Kumar.
like, yeah, it's like sketchy. I don't know. It's like it's a sketchy vibe over there. And also to go in the drive-thru, there's like a crane that drops your food. It's like it's the weirdest thing. And it just like
see that all sounds good to me.
Yeah, you're like, I don't want any contact with any people. Like you put the money in the slot, and then they take the money and they take the crane and give the person who works there the money, then they put the food in the little thing and it drops back over to you.
It's like a bank teller. Like
I
those
guess.
little where they shoot the checks in the tubes. But
I can't
I love that.
stand
Like they're going to McDonald's that don't have anybody working there.
Yeah, like robots.
Yeah. And I'm all for
Oh,
that.
That's a thing?
I think like in Europe or Japan or something, they have that.
It's coming.
That's
Yeah.
no. Well, I guess White Castle is just they're futuristic. They're ahead of time.
I mean, I could talk like this all day, but I feel like I should tell people a little bit about my experience with Emily Heller.
No.
So yeah, I want to say
fine.
that I want to give an origin. So I didn't know much about you, but I started seeing you pop up on YouTube, and I don't know if you consider yourself mostly YouTube or where you consider your place,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'm going through YouTube, and it's male dominated. Like it is dudes talking about running shoes, and that's it, and it has been for years. And all of a sudden, boom, there's this Emily Heller, and you're like, hey, it's a woman who's into shoes and gear. This is cool. So at that time, it was pretty much like it was maybe, I mean, Ginger Runner's like Godfather, but you had Jameson Runs, you had Kafuzi, and you were it besides us here. So
Yeah.
and that it was like a small little like group of people doing it. Now we have some Europeans and other people jumping in, and it's getting, there's a lot of people doing it now. But
Yeah.
in the beginning, you were one of the only female gearheads, and I'm curious because the audience on YouTube seems very male. Like we're heavy male on YouTube, and it's gotten better, but it's still
It's still like 90-10.
on YouTube.
It's so interesting too because I noticed in my analytics that most of the people who watch my channel are still men. I don't know why that is, but maybe just more men consume YouTube videos. But yeah, when I first got into running gear, I think I had been looking for a new pair of running shoes. I think I had been wearing like the A6 GT, oh God, I don't know, 1000, 2000 for like years. And I just never knew anything different. I kind of wanted to branch out, and I came across the Ginger Runner's like original Clifton review on YouTube. And it kind of just like hooked me, and I didn't know any kind of shoes like that existed. And I did research after that, and I became totally obsessed with running shoes and running gear and the whole culture behind that. And at the time, I had just been watching Ginger Runner and Jameson, and I believe I was reading the Believe in the Run website at the time. So I was interested in getting into this sort of industry, I guess you could call it, or niche, but I didn't really know how to do it. I had some experience with video and editing because I went to school for journalism. And I was definitely nervous to start, and it took me years to actually hit publish because I was a woman in a male-dominated space, and I was thinking like, well, I'm not super fast, I'm not elite, I'm not sub-elite, I'm not even close to sub-elite, and I'm a woman. Like, what's going to make people like want to watch my channel when they have all these like fast guys who are already doing this? So that took a lot to kind of get over. And when I finally did, there was still some imposter syndrome in the beginning for sure, and there still is today. But I'm glad I did because I hope that maybe it gives some women the opportunity to feel like maybe they have somebody who's a little more relatable to them. So that's why I decided to do it in the end, yeah.
What made you hit that publish button?
That's such a good question. I don't know. I had like gone through a lot of stuff the year before that in my life, and I felt like after having gone through stuff like that, I felt more confident, and I was like, you know what? Like, who cares if nobody watches it? Like, who cares? Like, if nobody watches it, big deal. Like, my coworkers will like be like, what's this? And like kind of goof on me, and whatever. What's the worst that can happen? And I just stuck with it, and it was a little bit kind of like embarrassing in the beginning when you only have like 5 subscribers and you're publishing all this stuff, and everyone's kind of like, what is she doing? But when it started to get traction, they were like, now the tune is different. They're like, oh, that's really cool. Like, what are you doing with too, you know, like.
Isn't it funny how that happens? I've gotten, you reminded me of that because I've gotten far enough away from it, but I used to, like, I felt like I had to win people over.
For sure.
And the more that they knew me, the more that they dismiss you. Like, it's random strangers that will be like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
I really liked your video on this. Like friends, people you run with, people like that, they're like, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time doing this? And you're like, you're making me feel bad, but you can't tell them that.
I would say like my main core group of friends were super supportive, and my wife is super supportive, so that's great. But yeah, like my family members, I mean, they don't really understand YouTube to begin with, you know, so they're like, what are you doing? And my coworkers were kind of like, what are you doing? Like, you're a news producer, like you don't do this other thing on the side. But now it's definitely different. They take it more serious.
Well, I'm curious about, so because you obviously have similar demographics on YouTube as us, but the thing is, I really do, like, we're starting to find more and more women are coming and asking shoe questions and getting there. Why, like, the right shoe makes such a difference in how you enjoy the sport and how you enjoy your daily runs. Why do you think women would obsess over other things like in their life, but when it comes to something like I'm guessing sports bras have got to be like you've got to obsess over that because you got to find the right fit and the right everything like that. It's very subjective and very individual. But the fact that shoes, like, and we'll go and I look at everybody's feet. I'm sure you do too. But like, you just see somebody wearing a basic shoe and you're like, you could be having so much more fun.
Oh, for sure. We see that. So, obviously I have this channel and my best friend works at a running store. So she's selling shoes all day long. And if we see somebody running with like a really old, like whatever brand it is, just a shoe that we know there's like about 3 versions out already, like since this shoe, we just look and we're like, what are you doing? Like you could
get DSW.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they're wearing the box Nike that you don't even know the name. Like we study shoes and I don't even know the name of some of the DSW running shoes.
Yeah, like I don't know any of the like really basic shoes like that. But yeah, it's so interesting. Like I've seen over the course of having the channel, I've definitely seen more women commenting and like wanting to experiment with like the cooler in air quotes shoes and like the newer shoes and the new technology in running shoes. But I gotta say, like when I first started, it was really just men commenting and stuff, and I don't really know why that is. Maybe women just didn't feel, I don't want to speak for all women, but maybe we just didn't feel like we had somebody or had a reason to look into that kind of technology because we didn't feel represented. It's something that I do ponder a lot as I try to kind of get more females to follow the channel and be interested in running content. It's kind of a confusing thing that I haven't really found the answer to yet.
I mean, yeah, it's nuts.
I also feel like men are maybe a little bit more performance driven and a little bit more competitive in general. Again, speaking like very generalities here, like not for everyone, but like, and I know a ton of women who would love to go run a marathon with a group of friends for fun. Like you rarely see a group of guys get together and go run a marathon for fun. I'm sure it happens.
Well, as a matter of fact, I would say that's flip-flop of you and me.
Well,
you are super competitive.
We're the opposite of
and
that.
I am like, I just want to run with my friends. And, I mean, we do know, I mean, we talk to the shoe manufacturers, and a lot of times I say that women do not feel they're worthy to wear like the carbon-plated race day shoes. And I think there's something about this. I think that it might be the way we're socialized as kids. Guys are like, go for it, do the best, get the best, you're the best.
Yeah.
And so we're all like, I deserve a carbon plate, even though I'm running, 8-minute miles for the marathon. Whereas a woman who would be running 7-minute flats is like, I shouldn't wear a Vaporfly because, that's, whatever.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some truth to that. I mean, it's so funny too because I have gotten comments like that from women like, oh, do you think like my pace warrants the super shoe. And to me, I'm a big believer, and I feel like this is not really a hot take, but something that is kind of a controversial opinion is like, I think no matter what your pace is, if you want to wear a super shoe, you go and you can wear that super shoe. It is completely up to you. If you run a 15-minute mile and you want to wear a super shoe, like, have at it. Like, it's not just for
As long as it feels good.
Right, exactly. Like, you don't want to be breaking your foot. And in some cases, I am breaking my foot in a super shoe, so I don't, I don't wear them all the time. But yeah, and I always say to them, like, yes, like, whatever the pace is, like, yeah, of course, if you want to, it feels comfortable, it feels good for you, whether you're running a 5K, a marathon, a 10K, whatever it is, like, you are just as worthy of running in one as an elite female and as an elite male, like, whatever the case is. Like, it's, that's the beauty of running shoes. Like, everything works different for everybody.
It's funny because when the Vaporfly first came out and it was hard to get, like people were waiting in line at their computer to get it.
I did wait.
I was able to get them, and so at that time you showed up to a race and you had those on. You're like, oh, you better be a rocket because everybody wants it, and so I did have like a little bit of like that feeling of I'm not fast enough to be wearing this. And at the time I was running like 3:20 to 3:30 marathon, and I was like, oh, I kind of wanted to hide my feet, and it took me a while to get there, and because I just liked running them, they feel good.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I do feel there's benefits beyond just sub 3 hour marathons to wear a super shoe. The cushioning and the way that it makes your legs feel towards the end of a race is so beneficial. And I really do think it can help a lot of people. Yeah, obviously if you're shuffling along, if it's probably not doing anything better for you than a regular, any regular running shoe that you would be comfortable. But if you like it and you like the look and you like the feel and it makes you feel like you're ready for race day, and that's the main thing. I think looking down at your feet and going, I want to go fast.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. I'm more of like a 4:15 to 4:30-ish marathoner, and I don't really choose to wear a super shoe in a marathon, but if I felt like I wanted to, I would. I don't care. And I see plenty of people around me who are. So that's
you say that, but at the Brooklyn half, you threw down a decent little half marathon there. Wasn't that a PR?
Yeah, no, it wasn't a PR, but it was one of my better ones in recent years. Yeah, I think it was like 140.
I like when we start saying recent years.
Recent years. I think the last time I PR'd was like 2019, so that feels kind of long ago. But it's funny that you mentioned the 4% because I do have a little story about that. So when those first came out, I was working the overnight shift and I couldn't find them anywhere. They were all sold out online. So I actually messaged, I didn't have a YouTube channel at that time, but I think I might have messaged like Jeff Dengate because he said that he got them somewhere in this city. And he told me the store he got them at. So I worked an overnight shift. I got out at 7 a.m. and the store didn't open till 10 a.m. And I stayed there and waited for the store to open. And it was like cross town. And I got 2 pairs, like one for me and one for my friend. Yeah. And it was like Christmas. It was like the best day ever. It didn't matter that I had stayed up all night. It was so
I'm surprised they let you buy 2 pairs.
Yes.
Because like back then you could resell, like those were going on StockX. You get a pair of Vaporfly 4%, you could turn them around for $700 on StockX.
I know, yeah. They did let me buy 2 pairs. Maybe that was like a 2-pair limit kind of deal.
For sure.
And you were nice enough to get one for a friend.
Yeah, well, it had, you gotta hook the friends up too.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So how did you actually get into running? You mentioned your last PR was probably 2019. Like, when did you start running?
I started running in 2012. So I hated physical activity. I was not interested in it. I was forced to play team sports throughout my entire young life to high school, and I had just had enough. My dad.
When you say forced, like who was forcing you?
Mom and dad, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it was like you try out for this team and you try to make it, and if you don't, then you're not gonna. Well, not if you don't, but you have to try out, or you're not watching TV. Basically, he wanted me to get out of the house and move my body, which I understand. So I played all these sports. I didn't really like any of them. So I had enough in my early college years and late high school. So my dad is a triathlete. He's done a bunch of Olympic distance, half Ironman, and he did an Ironman and all that stuff. So I had always been like, I don't understand why you want to do this. This is like torture. You're out there in the blazing sun for hours upon hours, just like doing whatever you're doing. And he's always gone exercising somewhere. And I just wasn't into it. But for some reason, on my like 22nd birthday or something, I wanted a flat bar road bike. I think just to like ride around for fun. Like, I don't know. I don't know where I got this idea. So he was like, yeah, like I'll take you to my bike shop and we'll get one. He's like, you know what we should do? We should do like a triathlon relay. You can do the bike and he'll do the swim. And then my friend will do the run. And I was like, oh, I guess I'll try it. So I ended up training for the bike portion of it, which I think for a sprint triathlon is like, I don't know, 10 miles or something like that. And my friend was doing the 5K, and we had never run. So we just started running. We would run like a little bit and then stop. And I ended up training it with her and kind of fell in love with the running portion of it. And then I got into duathlons and then into triathlons. So I did triathlons for like 2 years, bunch of sprints and Olympics. I did a half Ironman in New Hampshire. And then I realized I really don't enjoy swimming all that much.
I get that. I get that.
Sucks.
I do not like it. And I don't want to go in the blazing heat in my wetsuit and go into the water and swim for 45 minutes. I don't want to do it. I don't want to go to the pool and do it. So I decided.
It goes right back to your camp days of having to get in the pool.
Oh, no, yeah.
I have swimming camp trauma or something. I guess that's what it is.
Did you even put that together? That's why you hate it?
Like a therapy session. Look what we're learning. But yeah, I just decided I wanted to transition into running, which is a shame because I have a beautiful triathlon bike that sits downstairs.
What's a flat bar bike? You said you wanted a flat bar. It's like a regular basic bike. Instead of like on a road bike, I don't know what the cool handlebars are called. They're not aero bars. They're like on a regular road bike.
Like, I know what you're talking about.
Downs.
Yeah.
Like the drop downs.
The horns?
Yeah.
The horns, yeah. Yeah.
You call that a flat?
No, that's not it.
That's not. That's like a traditional road bike. A flat bar is just like a regular, like they're straight.
Oh, like a stick?
You just hold it like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
A literal flat bar.
Like a hipster bike.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I could be making that term up. That's what he calls it, so that's what I'm calling it. I don't know.
All right.
But yeah, so I have this beautiful triathlon bike that sits downstairs and collects dust, but it's just a casualty of me transitioning into running. But that is how I got into running, and then I ran my first marathon in 2015.
What was it?
New York City.
Oh,
wow. Started off big.
Yeah, I raised money for multiple myeloma, which was a cancer my grandfather had, and it was a really cool experience, and it kind of hooked me on the whole thing because, it's New York, so.
Okay, so far I've run New York 2 times.
Uh-huh.
The first time I went out too fast and paid dearly for it.
Yeah.
And last year, it was so hot, I just hated it. I have not had good New York experiences. Mm-hmm. Tell me that you can have fun on that course. Tell me that it can be good.
You can have fun on this course, Thomas, and it can be good. I had a good experience my first year. It was kind of cold that year, which was good. Nice.
That's key.
Yeah.
I think we were running it the same year. In 2012, I might have been on the course with you.
Oh, I ran it in 2015. 2012 is when I started exercising for reals.
I can't remember what year I did it. It was cold though.
Yeah, it was not. It's better when it's cold. No, but you can have fun. I don't think that I was really paying attention to what my time was then. I was kind of just like soaking it all in. So maybe that had something to do with it. There was a point on the course where I saw my dad and I was like, I don't know why I signed up for this. Why did I do this? And he was like, be quiet, take this orange here. And then I just kept running with my little orange slice. But I think this is your year, Thomas. This is the year you're going to have fun.
I hope so.
I think so.
It's been miserable. You seem to have a pretty tight relationship with your dad.
We do. Yeah. We have a lot in common. Now, especially because we both exercise a lot. He's doing the Jones Beach half Ironman in September. It's coming up, actually. So that'll be cool.
Is that a lifetime event or? is that Ironman?
No, it's Ironman. It's like a brand new event that they just started. I guess this is going to be the first one this year, so that'll be kind of cool. Right here
cool.
on the island, yeah.
The fact that you haven't sold your tri-bike makes me feel like maybe you're holding out on that.
I thought about like in the winter, I was kind of like, maybe I'll do this Jones Beach race. And then I was like, ooh, I don't know. All that swim training again. Ooh.
Well, why not throw the bike on a trainer and have it as like a,
Yeah.
like I love my trainer bike.
Yeah, like what are they, Zwift? Are you a Zwift
Yeah,
guy?
I do Zwift. I do.
Yeah.
There's a imaginary Thomas out there cycling around.
Yeah, my
in
dad's on
places.
Zwift also. I could do that, but I have a Peloton, so.
See, yeah,
Which
Meg's
I-
on the Nordic.
I barely use it, but my wife likes it a lot, and it's so expensive. I feel like I have to get on it and use it for something. Yeah, so maybe one day I'll pick it back up.
After your first marathon in New York, I feel like that's when people are like, I'm a runner or I'm never doing this again. Obviously, you're still here. So what was your thought process right after that? Did you immediately sign up for another one?
I didn't do my next one until 2018, Philly.
Okay.
But that being said, I definitely tried to get into the lottery for New York every year after 2015 and never got in. But yeah, after that, I was like totally hooked. I felt like even more immersed in the culture. I felt not that I belonged more, but I felt like I had some like street cred, I was like, ooh, I did the New York City Marathon. Like, I have something to like talk to other runners about. Like, so that was fun. Yeah, but I did a bunch of halves and local races here. That was kind of like my jam for a while. And all the while I'm like still researching shoe technology and looking at everybody's YouTube videos and trying to figure out like, how can I do this also? So kind of like the two of them kind of fueled each other in a sense. Yeah.
And who came up with Run Like Heller, that name? You?
I did, yeah. I don't know how I came up with that. I was just like, run like hell. Okay. Kind of corny, but it works. People will kind of remember that. So
It's very memorable. Okay, now you've run several marathons. You've done a few triathlons. What's more important to you at the end of a race, the shirt or the medal?
Oh, the shirt. Well, actually, that's a good question. Okay, I feel like some of the running shirts that I've gotten are really terrible. I think the women's cut,
Yes.
I hate women's cut tech tees. I don't want that on my body. I hate it. If it's a V-neck, I hate it even more. Like, so
Okay, there's nothing worse than the V-neck with the
Cut in?
No, and it like flares out around like the hips.
Well, that's because you're
Girl,
supposed to have full hips.
I can't. That is the worst.
that is an absolute F no. I cannot put that on my body under any circumstance. So I guess the shirt is important to me in a sense that I want it to like fit and look good, and having the medal is cool. I don't have an answer, Thomas. I don't know. They're both equally important. I want the medal. I want the accolade,
Okay. Who's had the best shirt that you continue to wear?
Oh, that's okay. Probably Nike's Chicago merch was pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I agree.
I also would throw Boston in there. The Adidas shirt I love.
I have yet to go to Boston. I mean, I haven't done Boston. I haven't even gone to Boston during
All right.
the marathon
You have to
week.
go during the marathon because it is an experience. Like it's not just about the people running the race. It is phenomenal. Like is it Newberry Street? What's the street?
Yep.
Yeah. Newberry Street is like, it's every brand. It's all the people. It's everybody,
so cool.
the athletes, everybody's there. It is our Disney World.
Oh yeah, I just want to go spectate. I mean, running it would be great, but I just want to go like be there.
Why don't you come this April?
I don't know, maybe I will. I got to make sure I can get off work, which is always a fun adventure.
You tell them stop making news for like 1 week.
I wish. Yeah, I think Chicago Nike had the best shirt and also like the best merch that you could buy that I've experienced so far.
I
What do you think?
agree. I think one of the only race shirts I still have is Chicago 2018. That I'm like, I still like it. It's cool.
The only problem I had is like when you go through, and I do feel like they had cool stuff and the jackets were nice and stuff. I just couldn't bring myself to buy them because we have so much running stuff,
yeah.
and it's just like,
Well, yeah, that's true. I always got to get like the jacket or some kind of like you got the finisher's jacket. I feel like I got to get that like for New York. That's just like the thing that you do.
well, you will be getting that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You won't even have to purchase that. So
Well, that's wonderful. Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Is this so have you run New York since your first marathon?
no, she said she doesn't get in.
Oh.
Yeah, I couldn't get in. This is my
I'm sorry.
first time
She has-
since I ran it.
She doesn't listen.
No, she said she tried to get in until 2018 and I didn't know if
don't-
she had run since then.
I have
Emily
the-
knows.
I know. I have the memory of a goldfish, so I can totally relate. I don't know. My processing is off, so it's totally fine.
Well, Ted Lasso would love that.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's why I'm excited for New York this year is it can't be hot 2 years in a row like that.
I hope
It can't.
not.
Don't
please,
say that.
Please don't do that to us. And I think the crew is really great this year. I think we're
Yeah.
gonna have a good crew. I'm excited to see everybody this weekend. But like, and even I think last year was our first time working with New Balance to do this, and so
Right.
we worked out some of the kinks from last year. So I think you're actually better off running it this year with us than you would have been last year.
Wow, I'm excited. I really do love the crew too. They were super cool for the half that we did, and then when we went to Boston, Jess is, hysterical.
So
It's a
good.
ton of fun. Yeah, we had a great time. I'm excited for this weekend. Also, I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do. Like, I've never raced a mile in my entire life, so I don't really
Neither.
know. What do you do? Just go as fast as you can and just.
I
Yeah.
think you run really hard and you hope you don't like your legs don't go too fast and you fall over kind of thing. Like
Oh.
that's
You
worst
just-
case scenario.
You just try not to cry. It's my
Not to
goal.
cry
Yeah,
for.
just don't cry. You can.
All right. What's your
Just make
Meg?
it.
I want to know what your mile goal is. This.
I don't know. I also have never raced a mile. My coach just wrote, "Run it as fast as you can." So
Oh my God.
whatever that means.
Wow. Are you gonna try to like
I'm gonna-
break 5?
Oh no, I don't even like. I would be shocked if I broke 5:30. Like, there's so many miles on my legs right now. I don't know if there's any
Let's-
speed left.
Yeah.
I mean, that is
So-
a crazy thing. So I went with Megan for her run yesterday. I bike paced her, and she's going so fast. And I'm like looking at her, I'm like, she doesn't have another gear. This is it. This is the gear.
You're redlining.
She could,
This is the gear.
her mile may be like maybe 5 to 10 seconds faster than her 10 miles.
I just
at
only have like
pace.
one speed, and it's like I can
Yeah.
run that a mile or I can run it for 26, but that's it. That's what happens.
right. All right.
I think she might surprise herself. Do you
What about
do you
you,
have a goal, or you just me? I'm
No, I
terrified of
would.
this.
I'm trying to copy somebody. I can't run 5:30. So
Okay,
maybe I'll try to copy
so-
you.
I did a mile trial. It's got to be 3 or 4 years ago now, where I ran a 5:30, and I was really pumped about that.
Okay, well, I'm
And I
not.
was like, yeah, 5:30. And then now, like, I'll do like strides at the end of a run, and they'll be at like 5:30, and I'm going like all out.
Yeah, like you're
And
like yeah.
I'm just like, oh, I can't hold that for a mile. But I don't know. Maybe we'll get around people, and races are different. You lock in with people, and you're just like, I'm just gonna hang here and just try to do it.
Yeah.
But
and
I'm in
No,
the
go-
first wave.
Oh, I don't even know what wave I'm in. How do I know that?
We'll find out when we go.
The slowest
on,
people go first.
No, it's by age. So
Oldest people go first.
Oh, it's my
yeah,
age. That's so interesting.
yeah. I know. It's how old are you? I think we're in the same. We'll be in the same.
33.
Yeah, I'm 35.
Turkey
Oh no,
tree.
you'll be in a different wave because I think it's 35 to 39.
Oh, okay.
You're in the 30 to 34.
Okay. Wow.
You're going late then.
I guess so. Well, it'll be like the Brooklyn half where I start like an hour after you guys are crossing the start line.
I forgot
the
about
finish
that.
line. and I'm just still waiting there like, oh, All right. No, but I would try to do like in the 6s. I don't know. I don't want to like pull anything. That's what I'm worried about.
You're like a baby.
I'm a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, 33.
Like you're young enough where you can just go and you'll be fine the
yeah,
next
you
day.
could take a leg off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no big deal. I'm only 3 years younger than you, so you're kind of a baby too, then I guess.
I guess. What mileage are you at now? Like, what's your longest long run? And are you going to do a long run this weekend with the mile?
No. So I was supposed to run 40 miles last week, but I accidentally like screwed up my speed workout and cut it short by accident. So my mileage is around like 40 a week, and my longest run so far was 19, which I did last week, but I'm doing like a lot of cutback weeks coming up.
Okay.
So this week I have 14, so I think I'm going to do that before I leave tomorrow.
Nice.
And then the group run on Friday, right? And then Saturday, and then Sunday is yeah. So are you guys, I was wondering about that too, like are you guys going to do your long runs with your mile on Sunday, or like what's the vibe? What are you guys going to do?
I mean, look, the mile is...
No, you're going to do more. He's going to do more miles on Saturday. And then,
Okay.
I thought you just meant, are you going to do a long run?
Yeah.
Why don't you do it with Robbie and I? Because we're going to do like the 3 after the shake, do the 3 in the shakeout, and then run 10 miles, like go up to Central Park and then run down West Side Highway.
Well, like what's your pace though, Thomas?
I don't think...
What are you talking about?
Like, it's a long run. I don't think we care. Like, anywhere from, like 8:30 to 9 something.
All right. I'll think about it. I'm definitely going to do more miles on Saturday. Whether it's a long run or not we'll see. But
We
I'm
could
gonna
carry
do some-
walkie-talkies.
Oh, I would love that. Have you ever done that before? You sound like you're experienced with carrying walkie-talkies while you run.
I don't think you've ever done that.
No, I do need a way to communicate with Megan though, because a lot of times
You can use a cell phone.
that is something you could use.
Yeah.
But Megan goes out for like she'll be doing 10 miles, and then I'll go out and do 8 or 6, and when I'm finishing mine, she's like, I'll run into her because she's finishing
nice.
hers.
Yeah.
But it would be good if I could know ahead of time.
You just want me to call and give you my location at all times?
Well, I think I could do that with the phone.
Yeah, you can. You could. I haven't even thought of a walkie-talkie in the last decade. So you just brought back some.
We should bring them back
Do
for
you,
sure.
do you remember Nextel? Remember they had those phones
yeah.
that you could...
First cell phone. That's the first one I had. I had a little Nextel.
wow.
It would just beep all day long, and my friends would be like, "What are you doing? I'm at home. Me too." Oh my god,
Those are wild.
Dude, I
Yeah.
love my Razor. I had a
Oh.
Razor.
Yeah.
those were also indestructible. You could throw them at the wall, and they would not break. It
I had
was
a black one, a silver one. I had them
Yeah.
all.
Oh yeah, I was a big Razor girl, for sure.
I used to take photos with that thing. And
I wish we still had those photos. See what they look like now in comparison to.
No, probably not. We probably
how did
don't
we
want
even
those.
get them off the phone?
Oh, I don't think you did.
No, yeah, that's just where they lived.
Oh, okay.
And then when your phone was gone, they were gone.
There you go.
Somehow, though, all those photos on the Razor probably look better than every local race photo that has ever been taken of me ever before. So somehow.
So you suffer from the bad race photos?
Oh my God. I suffer from them badly. They are so bad. I need a good, really nicely done race photo. I just have not had one.
We talked about that on our other podcast, the drop, not the drop, the Feel for the Soul, where we're like, because people, all these people, they're like, do you want to run for performance or do you want to run for
And
weight
look
loss
good
and
in
look
your-
good? And they're like, if you're worried about looking good, hire a photographer, go out and do a photo shoot while you're running, and then you can just run the race.
Especially the local photographers, it's all race photographers, especially the local ones, all they get is the down step.
Yes.
Only down step.
Yes. What is up with that? Oh,
I
and my
don't know.
down step is so bad. I am it's somehow the last 10 feet of the race, and I am hunched over like this.
You get
My
wrinkles
face
you didn't know you had.
open. It's terrible.
like you're 85 years old, like that. You're like, that's what I'm gonna look like when I'm older, like just like that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's my
but it turns out one of the people who listens to the podcast went out and got a professional photo
You're
shoot.
kidding. That's how you know
She's
it's
like, that
not.
was brilliant. I want some good running photos, so I hired like her niece or something to follow her around and
You
take
guys
pictures.
have Brandon, so you have a good,
Right.
you have a solid photo following you around.
It'll happen, yeah.
All right, back on some shoe stuff real quick.
Yes.
What is your favorite daily trainer right now?
Oh, it's got to be the SE Trainer V2.
Yes, it is. No, but it actually, yeah.
Oh, really? You really
Oh,
do love
It
it?
is for real, yeah. I haven't like run. I was thinking about this before because I always try to anticipate the shoe questions that I'm going to get, and there really hasn't been like a shoe this year that has super wowed me. I don't think, but I've had a lot of good experiences, but I haven't had a lot of wow experiences. I think with shoes. But
So
I think
name
yeah, go ahead.
Name a wow shoe from you. So not this year, but what's a shoe that you've been like, whoa, this is different.
Yeah, honestly, probably the SC Trainer V1 was a wow shoe for me. I thought that was a really cool, fun, exciting shoe. Felt unlike anything I had put on my feet prior to that. And going all the way back, like the Clifton one was a wow shoe because I was basically running on a rock before I ran on that midsole. So
Do you remember how big those looked when you first got those?
and now like I have a pair of OGs in the closet, and like it doesn't even look that weird.
Right?
No, I remember opening that box when I got them. I was like, these are huge. I'm going to look like Frankenstein walking around on these.
Exactly. But yeah, I think the SC Trainer V1 is probably like a shoe that I can remember most recently that wowed me. And I think like the SC Trainer V2 is really good also in the sense that like it has some of the characteristics of the V1, but it is slightly watered down to maybe be a little bit more accessible for more frequent usage, I would say.
Yeah. It's more versatile is how I'd say
exactly. It's more versatile. I think more people probably would get along with it. It's a little bit lighter. So yeah, I think that's my daily trainer. I've been running in that. I've been running in like the Mach X here and there, which is a good shoe. I'm not wow.
What about it's not this year, it came out late last year, but the Super Blast?
Yes, the Super Blast. I did really like the Super Blast. I think I was wowed with that at first. See, that's the one thing though that I struggle with is like I will do like a first impressions video on something and I'm like so into it. I'm like, wow, this is a great shoe. And then, as it goes on, I'm like, all right, it's a good shoe. I feel like I get a little like excited too quickly. But it is a great shoe.
What's crazy about that is our first impression of it was not so good.
Oh, really?
And that we were expecting, I think we were expecting something different from
Something
the shoe.
softer and bouncier, and it felt like it took like a break-in period.
Yeah.
And that's when we fell in love with it.
Yeah. I mean, it was still something different, I felt like, from New Balance, New Balance, Asics. But one thing that like is always a hot take that I feel like I have is I really don't like the Nova Blast. So
Get out of here.
I really don't. But I actually do really like the Super Blast. So
Okay.
yeah, maybe that makes.
What's your favorite brand?
Um,
Like if you had to only wear shoes from one brand,
Ooh.
who would it be? Like if you were going to get sponsored, like say tomorrow they're like, you are our Olympian.
wow. I don't want to say this just because of New Balance, but I actually do think New Balance would probably be the shoe brand I would pick because I like the SE Trainer a lot. I like the More V4 a lot. I like the SC Elite, but I have some problems with it with my feet. So I think I could make that work.
I know what you're going to love. She's going to love the 1080 V13.
Yeah.
It is so up your alley.
She has it.
I have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's up your alley, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't know if we could like talk about it, but yeah.
Well, by the time this comes out, it'll be past 9/13, so
Okay,
we're good.
yeah. I love that shoe. I try to run it
knew
as
it.
much as possible. Oh, it's amazing.
Okay,
You guys like
so
it?
you've run in that.
I love it.
Yeah, you've run in that and the A6 Nimbus 25.
Yes.
I think they're very similar.
They are.
Which would edge out which for you?
I would definitely pick the 1080 V13.
Whoa, what is it? What's the difference?
I think like I really like the Nimbus the Nimbus because it's really soft, but I also think that it feels kind of like bulky, and I have really big feet to start off with, and I feel like
What size feet are you?
a 10 and a half.
You don't have to. I'm also a 10 and a half.
Yeah, but you're a dude. So it's a little different, and I'm only like 5'4".
But wait, it's a women's 10 and a half, right?
Yeah.
What is that in men's size?
That's like a 9.
Yeah, like a 9.
I don't think that's crazy.
All right. Well, it feels cumbersome on my foot. I feel like the 1080 V13, it gives you all that cushion that the Nimbus gives you, but in like a little more of a nimble package. It's still a big, squishy shoe, but it feels a little maybe like more compact, I guess.
What would you say the difference is between the midsole foam? Because I feel one of them gives you a little more bounce.
I personally think maybe like the 1080 gives a little more bounce. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I think the Nimbus is great when you want to just take it super easy. You don't care what your pace is. Maybe your legs are really banged up. And I think that's my only use case for it. But with the 1080, I think that it has that little bit of bounce. If you want to pick it up just like a little bit.
Did you run you obviously ran the 1080 V12. Mm-hmm. That thing was trash, right?
I actually think I liked it, but I wasn't like amazed. I don't know if I
Did
put
it
it in like
fit?
a trash category. Huh?
It fit. I'm kidding around about it being trash, but because the foams are pretty similar, but the upper wasn't right, and so it made the shoe for me feel big, even though it's on the same last as it was the previous year and probably this year.
Yeah, I have a lot of trouble with the uppers, especially like when they get into like the knit territory. I don't like that like hypo knit kind of thing, so that does become an issue
I'm
for
with
me.
you.
Yeah.
It has to be a perfect knit.
Yes.
Okay, I have a couple YouTube questions for you.
Okay.
Because you mentioned, you said when he asked about brands, you said New Balance, but I'm not just saying that. Like you prefaced it.
Yeah.
Do you get comments on YouTube suggesting that you are biased because you are working with a brand? Number one, and number two, do you read all your comments and take them to heart, or do you not look at them?
That is a good question. I like that. Okay, so in terms of working with the brand, yes, I have gotten a couple like that, especially recently because I have been wearing the SC Trainer V2 a lot and comparing it to a lot of shoes because I've just been running in it a lot. And it usually always, if I do like a which shoe should you buy video and that shoe's in it, the SC Trainer is usually going to get the win. And I think people think that I'm doing that because, I'm working with New Balance and you guys for that. But I don't care. It's not true.
That drives me nuts because I'm like, try the shoe. Like, I get it. If you try the shoe and you think the shoe is trash, then you could be like, you know what? I think maybe you're, padding this shoe a little bit.
Right.
But if you try the shoe and it is like, we were talking about how it's hard to really make a horrible shoe these days. Like if you've got a decent foam and a decent fitting upper, you're going to have a pleasurable experience.
I agree
You've
with
got
that.
to go out of your way to do something bad. So we're like, we get, because we do stuff with different brands, people will think, I'm like, try their shoes. Like if you don't think, and we'll tell them, and and I believe you'd be the same way. If it was a crap shoe, you'd say something.
Oh, totally. And I would say what doesn't work for me. But I get a lot of comments like, oh, you're just riding the hype train. Like you're just,
yes, hype train to New York.
Yeah, exactly. Hype train to New York. I'm just like,
That's
whatever. I usually just ignore those comments. And I do read all my comments, but I probably I have a good amount, but I probably get a lot less than you guys do. But do I take them to heart? I think I did in the beginning. But I get a lot of comments that are like, ugh, please stop doing the good morning YouTube. It's so cringe. Like, I fast forward every time. And, that whole thing. That's very, very controversial. People either love that or they hate it. I get that a lot. Or like, your foot is caving inward. Like, yeah, dude, I know. I overpronate. I say it in every video. Like, That's another thing I get a lot.
Is it all dudes making these comments?
Of course,
Oh,
it's 90% dude.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
It's the keyboard warriors for sure that are
And-
mostly men.
I gotta say, women mostly aren't assholes.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely
at
not
least
on YouTube.
not publicly. They might behind your back be like
They're, like, hyping
shredding
me
you.
up. The women
Yeah.
are always like, "Wow,
Yeah.
like thank you for this informative video.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate it." Yeah, but there are definitely dudes who are not.
Do you get
as-
creepers?
Yes, I do get creepers.
Yeah.
On mostly Instagram though.
Mostly on
Oh.
Instagram?
Yeah, like if I
Ugh.
post, God forbid I post a photo in a sports bra because it's 95 degrees outside and I just got done with the run, like that kind of thing. Yeah, get that a lot.
Yeah, I get uncomfortable because like Meg and I will do a video together, and it'll get a comment that I'll just be like, oh, "Dude,
Yeah.
They're like there's rarely any though about me, and one happens and this guy loses his mind.
That's
I
funny.
don't like it." I probably shouldn't say that. Now everybody's gonna do it.
I said milliliters instead of millimeters
Millimeters.
the other
Oh.
day, describing, and people lost their minds.
Predator.
But it's like obviously you didn't mean to say that. I've done that too. Or like I'll be like it'll be like a 37 millimeter drop and maybe I put like 36 accidentally. It's like because you make that mistake, you're completely discredited.
You're an idiot.
Yeah.
How do you not know you're doing the reviews, man?
Exactly. Or like maybe I'll say Pebax is like this kind of foam and maybe it's not exactly that kind of foam and then I get like a paragraph like actually it's this and if you're going to misinform people blah blah blah. And I'm like, you start a channel.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Like, you know, whatever.
Nobody wants to listen to you because you're boring talking about your dumbass P-backs.
Yeah, exactly. Damn. No. I try not to care though because the majority of the comments are really like supportive and conversational and engaging and I like to talk to people when they are, you know, saying something nice or asking me a question, that kind of thing. I try to engage as much as I can. So
How do you balance that with, because you have a full-time job?
yes.
How are you doing that balance?
Yeah, so I just to give I guess the people who are listening some background, I work at CBS News as a producer there. So I work nights. I work 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. typically. And yeah, it does get to be a lot, honestly, because news is pretty unpredictable. You never know what you're going to get on a given day. I could go in today and all hell could break loose. I just never know, or nothing could happen. But it does make it difficult to kind of produce content because I'd love to do more than I do. It just becomes difficult because I also have this kind of demanding job. So what I try to do is tell myself, like, on most weeks, get one video out there on YouTube and maybe do like 1 or 2 reels. And that's kind of the goal right now. And, you know, I don't know if I could ever take it full time. I'd love to, but I think I'd need more time in order to make it full time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the
it's
chicken or the egg.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's really something I struggle with. It's kind of like this, it is kind of like a balancing act. So
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get the hang of it. Even I started in 2019, still today. And I feel like it's so much more now. It's not just YouTube. You have to do reels. You have to do all this other stuff to kind of keep staying relevant. And that's a whole other beast in itself.
Yeah, it's a lot. And also those hours are like, you're not working like you're a traditional like 9 to 5. So
Yeah.
like, when are you sleeping?
I sleep. Well, if I'm working from home, I'll be in bed by like 11:45. I'm not.
What?
Huh?
That's late.
Yeah, but she's working till 11.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm working till 11 p.m. So, and if I don't get, like, last night I worked in the city, so I didn't get to bed till like 1 a.m. I didn't run today, but I woke up at like 8. You know, I try to do that. I guess I'm so used to it because I have had such weird hours. Like, I worked the overnights for a year and a half. I work nights. Sometimes I work, like the other day I worked at 7 a.m. So I woke up at like 5:30, like kind of like probably what you do, Meg. I woke up at 5:30. I
Yeah.
rolled out of bed and I got a 5-mile run in before 7 a.m., which felt straight.
Wait, why is it only what Meg does? What about me? I'm still here.
Thomas, I don't know. I don't know if you run as early as Meg does, because I know Meg wakes up early and goes to bed early, right? You did tell me that.
Yeah, we chatted about this. We bonded in Boston about our schedules and running. So,
All right, you're forgiven.
Well, what time do you? Well, now we need to know your schedule. What time?
We are on the same schedule.
Okay, fair.
The house shuts down at around 8 o'clock. There is a look that happens, and then it's like, yeah.
What's the look? What's the look?
Okay, it's usually like now for people listening, you're not gonna be able to see this, but it's like,
Yeah.
and then the other person does the little head nod. May goes, "You want to go up?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's call it."
Let's call
And
it.
then the lights get shut down, TVs go off.
I have like 4 hours of my, or 3 hours of my shift that time. Yeah.
Well, you have to understand, I've got a regimen. I have to brush my teeth, wash my face.
I hear that.
I put on my pajamas, the whole, Make sure.
Do some meditation, some.
Yeah, exactly. A face mask, we get, and then we watch Always Sunny for about an hour, and then go to bed.
No, me and my wife is asleep by the time I get home. It is pitch black in here. It is like 50 degrees. The dog is like, Mom. So I'm kind of on my own when it comes to like letting myself in the house and all that stuff. But I mean, she works normal hours, so I don't expect her to stay awake till 12:30 at night.
Yeah.
Is there ever times where you're like, you know what? I feel like having company. When I get home, you're waking up.
No.
She's like, I know better.
Yeah, I don't think she'd be interested. She'd be like, "That's nice. I'm gonna stay asleep."
I wouldn't even try with Megan, because if once she's gone to sleep, if I tried to wake up, she'd be like angry.
Yeah, you would not get the best version of me if you woke me.
So you'd rather just,
because I've listened to you guys talk on your podcast a little bit about, like, I forget, it was a recent episode where it was Falmouth, and you guys had like a terrible sleep experience, and you had like 2 sound machines going and like the whole thing. And I was like, that sounds like a complete nightmare. But the sound machines do work. Those are effective.
Well, I'll just give you a little insight into our domain. So when we're at home, we have a sound machine going.
Okay.
We have each side of our bed has a Uller machine, which is the refrigeration cooling thing for your bed.
Yeah.
So you can set it for the temperature that you like.
Wow.
And then those make
so ridiculous.
Those make white noise too. So you've got a sound machine making white noise, those 2 machines making white noise, cooling your bed. It's a very nice experience, and our room is
a
pitch
5-star
black.
hotel. Do you guys sleep in a 5-star? Like, is this the 4 Seasons or what?
No, it's bad, because then when we go to a hotel, we're like, this sucks.
Yeah, I know. It's
Where's
like
our cooling bed?
When I go to a
It's
hotel,
so
I'm
hot.
like, oh, this is so fancy. Like, look at me. You guys are like, no, this is garbage. I need my special refrigeration bed machine.
We need a little quartet to put us to sleep. We usually have live musicians.
Yeah, exactly.
They leave once we're snoring.
Oh, that's so creepy. Okay, we're getting close to 60 minutes here. So before we go, I want to still ask you a few more shoe questions. We can make these like rapid fire if you want. What's your race day shoe right now for the marathon?
Race day shoe for the marathon would either be Endorphin Pro 3 or SC Elite.
Okay. What about a tempo shoe?
Ooh, tempo shoe right now, probably Mach X, and maybe throw in the SC trainer in there. Hyperspeed maybe for like shorter stuff.
Skechers Hyperspeed?
Wait, am I thinking the wrong? No, Magic Speed.
Magic Speed.
The most recent Magic Speed. That's the one.
Magic Speed 3.
I really like that shoe. That's why I raced Falmouth.
In it.
Yeah.
I do not love it for long distance, but I do like it for shorter stuff.
I would agree with you. Okay, recovery day shoe.
Oh, more V4, Nimbus 25, and 1080 13.
I think you and I have very similar taste in shoes, which we might have already figured out.
We like
but
pushy shoes. We like soft shoes.
She did not say Alpha Fly, though.
No,
that's true.
I do not have. You don't want to see my ankle in an Alpha Fly. It's just very.
Oh, that's right. You, according to all the guys on YouTube, you overpronate.
Yeah. Well, I do overpronate, so they're not wrong. But it's.
Wait, did you try the Adidas Prime X2 Strong, whatever I'm saying.
I
wrong.
have it. I'm afraid. I hated the first one. It is not for
Oh,
me.
okay.
But I'm going to try it and hopefully not break my ankle. So, yeah.
Okay.
That's it?
I'm-
That's the first one, right?
This is the first strung one. I
Yeah.
couldn't wear the one with the original upper. I think I have that here too someplace. But the original upper one, I couldn't get a good fit over the midsole, so it became
Yeah.
really unstable. And I can't imagine if I pronated. The next one is the one that you haven't tried yet.
Yeah.
It is more stable. It's just so freaking heavy.
Yeah, I heard you guys not really into it. Well, it's kind of in the middle about it.
Yeah, not my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, you already told us your most shocking in a good way shoe was the SC1 and nothing this year.
Nothing.
My most shocking in a good way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually also Max Road 6 from Skechers. I didn't really want to run in that shoe. I didn't like the way it felt when I was like walking around, and I just started running in it like 2 weeks ago and I actually like it. So,
It's not. It's a moped.
yeah.
It's fun to drive, but it doesn't.
Exactly.
You don't look cool. You can't get a leather jacket.
Yeah. Can't get any girls wearing the Max Road Max Road.
Yeah, you're not going out in that one. Oh wait, okay, this is a good question. I'm going to interrupt here.
Okay.
All right. So, have you ever looked at an attractive person, but then looked at the shoes they're wearing and been turned off because you're like, ew?
Yes, but not for running. It's more like lifestyle shoes are a big thing for me. Like if you don't have like cute lifestyle shoes on, like if you don't really know, like that's a big deal for me personally.
You're like, we're not going to vibe.
Yeah. It's just like sometimes it can be an ick.
Like Crocs, or are you into Crocs?
No, I'm into Crocs. I
Okay,
can mess
so-
with
Yeah.
Crocs. Yeah. I
Wait,
don't know.
are you turned off by my Crocs?
Those they're not cute. Like they're just not cute.
You have to wear them a certain way.
All right,
Okay.
you might have to style me when we get up in New
We
York.
can try that. We can work on it this weekend, Thomas.
All right, get me crocked out.
Okay, most disappointing shoe this year,
Oh, damn.
if you will tell us.
That is a good question. The most disappointing shoe, probably the Prime X Strong. Like I was hoping that was gonna be like the it shoe, and it was
Yeah.
so big and cushy. And I heard so many good reviews about it, and it just did not work for me. And honestly, it like hurt my leg. It like gave me a lot of pain. So that's probably my biggest
fair.
disappointment. Yeah.
All right, what are you most excited for this year?
New York City.
Running the New York City Marathon. Duh. No, but really, that is what I'm most excited about. I'm excited to go back and like really do it. I've spectated it for my wife. I spectated it for my best friend the last 2 years, and I didn't get in because I didn't get in the lottery. So I am pumped to do it this year. That
Is your wife coming?
Is she cheering?
Yeah. She's gonna come
Nice.
spectate, and I think my friend's gonna come spectate. Maybe my dad, because we're so.
Is she gonna
close.
have one of those giant heads, like your picture on a giant
Oh
stick?
yes, please.
Oh no! You know, it's funny though that you mentioned that because when my friend did it last year, we got her husband's face on one and her dog's face on one, and we were just like holding it up in Brooklyn, and she was like, "What is that? Oh my god!" Yeah, it was cool. But yeah, no, that is actually what I am most excited about.
Awesome. I am also very excited for that. I think the whole weekend's going to be fun.
I'm excited
yeah.
for this weekend because we only have to run a mile.
That's also true.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's the beauty of this weekend is it's just a mile, no big deal.
And then we get a party.
Yeah. What's better?
Are you
than-
drinking?
Yes.
Okay.
I can do that.
Yes.
You guys were out of my league on how much. I have a lower tolerance, but I can hang for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do it.
All right, Emily, thank you so much for chatting with us today, and can't wait to see you tomorrow. And yeah, we'll be chatting soon.
All right.
All right. What is your closing line on YouTube videos? Like, what do you
Oh.
say to end it?
Get out there, get on the grind, and don't forget to run like Heller.
Nice.
Nice.
And that's the end of the podcast.
Cut.